Hi families, I figured this would be a lot easier to give out the information on what your students will be seeing when they need to go log in for CASE next week. As a reminder, I have sent out the schedule of what day your student will take the test. I have about 5 to 6 kids each day. Next week, we are actually starting with reading. But just to get them able to get into Mastery Connect, we're going to practice tomorrow in our morning meeting. But I wanted to show you all what their screens would look like because once they go into this lockdown browser, I cannot see their screens on GoGuardian. I can't keep them on Google Meet like I do sometimes. So it's something that once they go into this lockdown browser, I'm not going to be able to see what is going on their side. So I will be giving you my phone number for when you are taking the CASE test. If anything comes up or you have any questions, you'll be able to call me and ask me immediately, and I will be right there to help you. And that's one reason why we did such small groups for this test at home, so that they can have the help that they need. So whenever students are trying to get into their lockdown browser, their screens are going to look like this, where they type in their password usually, and you will want to find the apps button down at the bottom. But this button will not pop up right away. Usually students will have to shut down their computer by powering it off, and then when they power it back up, the apps button will show up. Last year on some of the older computers, the apps button never showed up, so we had to try other options. So that's why we're going to practice this tomorrow to make sure that we can get that apps button to pop up for students. So once they are able to see the app button, if it's after they shut off their computer and turn it back on, or even if they just open up their computer and they see it, they're going to click the apps button, and all these different apps are going to pop up. They're going to want to click on the MC Student button, and it'll bring up a screen like this for it to wait for it to connect. And once they have gotten connected, that I will give them a test code. So the morning before the student takes their CASE test at home, I'm going to meet with those students, those 5 or 6 students, in a Google Meet, and their parent that is home with them to help them through this test. So I will be giving you more information on that, but every student will get a test ID the day of their test to type in here. And once you type it in, then this is where you will get to your student ID. And that's the number that I sent out to you all through your your dojo today, with the long 212 number. And this is where they will type that in. And once they hit enter, it'll open them up to the test. Now, once they get into that test, that's when I ask you as the parent to kind of step back and let them do the work. And they will also be signing in a CASE at home honor code, and the students and I will go through that tomorrow. It's a Google form for them just to type in their name, to saying that they understand that they're going to try their best. They're going to not have any adults help them once they get into the test. Now, it's okay to help them get into the test and monitor them there, but where I cannot see their screen on GoGuardian or anything, it's going to be really hard for me to monitor their progress. So that's where we're really leaning on you at this time. And I know it's going to be hard for those families that you are working, and that's why I want to be there available for a phone call away to help you. And I have a copy of the test already, so if there's a question that the student's like, this makes no sense, well, you can call me, or you can have them call me, and they can ask me the question. So I hope that kind of helped you see what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And I have a sample test ID for them tomorrow that we're going to type in, and it's a 1-question simple subtraction problem for them to practice. And like I said, I'm going to walk through this with them in the morning, but I wanted to show you all first before we tried doing it tomorrow, just so that you can maybe walk through it with them tonight and show them that they may need to power it off and power it back on in order to find that apps button. But like I said, I will be available. We'll be sending out my phone number for you all to reach out to me during the CASE test, and I will be available right then and there. The test is a 2-hour testing window, but students are able to take a break every 20 minutes. If they need to get up and walk away and take a break, that is fine. This test, like I said before in my dojo announcement when I told you about the test, is showing what standards that they may have missed in first grade because of having to do NTI last year. So it's just kind of showing me where they stand and where I can begin teaching them in all content area. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on Dojo. I hope that this helps, and I'm hoping for a very smooth rollout for this to happen next week. I hope everyone has a great afternoon.